What's up, WWE Champions Universe? Welcome to Champions Chat, the fastest growing podcast dedicated to the WWE Champions mobile game. I'm down since day one, Rusty Graves, and with me, as always, is main event Lee Brown. What's up, Lee?
Yeet!
That's right. We are the Usos today. I'm glad you caught that reference.
Well, I was just watching Raw, the other day, and that was like they had the whole segment where Jay's in the background. He's like, yeah. And the Kofi's talking and stuff, and then they go to walk away, and he goes, yeet.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, Jay was in that segment for no reason, like
just to say yeet.
There was no other reason other than like, go say your catchphrase real quick, right at the end. Just
right. We got some more T-shirts that are intentionally blurry, and it bothers my mind when I see that shirt on TV.
I love
good.
And if you watch SmackDown this week, Jimmy Uso had this great no yeet shirt. He had a Jey Uso yeet shirt, and then he had like the old Kevin Owens style. He duct taped out the yeet and wrote no yeet on the top of it. So
no, I don't got no yeet.
I love that they're making that a thing, because like it really wasn't. I don't know. I think maybe the first time he said it, it was just like an accident or like a phrase maybe they say on the bus, and then they're like, yeah, run with that, And
well, maybe what I think really is they're actually copying Davey D, because at Davey D's merch store, davd.redbubble.something.com, search it out there. He has his sugar frosted Yeets shirt. Google Redbubble and Davey D Gaming together.
Don't just type in the words Lee just said. Who knows what site you'll end up on?
Right. But Davey's had the sugar frosted Yeet shirt for way longer than Jay. So I'm just saying, Jey Uso ripped off Davey D, as so many are prone to do.
Pause. Think about that for a minute. Actual WWE talent is going to our content creators to get their ideas.
Well, I mean, in this MLC event, one of the beefcake tours was called the beefiest of cakes. And I can't tell you how many people we saw go, where do you think they got that one from? And then Davey D in one of our little, super secret chats goes,
we don't have those.
Are they just paying homage to me right now? Like, did they just, and I want to say confirmed. Like, I have no inside knowledge of the dev teams and stuff, but I think they 100% went, Davey's gonna love this.
There's I can't remember what the saying is, but it's like, now the inmates are running the asylum, right? So it's like the content creators are now not only creating the content, but somehow maybe their expressions and euphemisms and phrases are starting to, and not only that, but they obviously very clearly they modeled Hall of Fame Rey Mysterio after Davey D. He was the model because Rey wasn't available. He's 2 feet taller than he should be. He looks like Davey. I think that's actually Hall of Fame Davey D. But the chase has been on this month for Rey. And yesterday, as of this recording, yesterday was the first day we started to see him surface in game. People got the 4th Rey token. People posted their screenshots. They made their faction mates jealous by posting it in the brag room or in the general chat. Can I just ask you?
Chat?
Okay, let me just ask you this. Like, are brag rooms and rant rooms and the kind of things that not only our faction, but most factions have these. So I'm speaking generally across the board.
Generally,
do they do more good or more harm?
I think they're good, especially on Discord, you can mute the brag room, right? You don't have to see what's going on there.
If you have a spending problem, you should mute the brag room.
Yes.
Like if you,
or a jealousy problem, or a FOMO problem,
or an addictive personality,
right?
Or smoke cigarettes in any way. Just you should mute it.
So like for the 5 people that haven't muted the brag room, I think that's great. But like, think about when we were online, and every time we did a talent up, I'm dumping, look at all these big moves I had here, and people are like, the ones who some people wanted to see it, and I wanted to post it. So
they're like, good for you, loser.
Yeah, how dare you show me? Now I've got FOMO. So having a separate brag room on Discord, I think 100% it's great. And we should celebrate. Like what gets celebrate or what we celebrate is what gets repeated, right? That's a leadership axiom. What you
Okay.
celebrate is what gets repeated. And so it's good for your faction to see like, oh, is this character any good? Well, this person is like jumping up and down that they got them. So no, you know, maybe that's one that I should build up on my roster too. I've had them sitting
Yeah.
at, you know, 10K for no reason.
You know why I like the brag room? So the brag room is the only place I can get realistic information that's not just guarded in so example, I can say I'm at X milestone and I need Y amount of points.
Yeah.
And I am assuming I have to spend to get there. So don't answer this question with spend. I want to know how much realistically am I going to need to spend and how? What do I need to buy? Right? Versus spend. Because you'll get that. How'd you pull him? Right. And you'll get a gif of someone,
Ducats.
Yeah. So it's like that's not helpful. That's not helpful. And it's very discouraging when you go, well, how much? Is it $1? Is it 20?
Right.
Is it more? Oh, I'm not prepared to spend that on this event. So I like the brag room because like I will ask and I will press the issue. Don't just say spend, how much and where. And I'll ask, how much did you DM me if you'd like, but how much did you have to spend to do that thing that I'm wondering, how can I do that thing?
Right.
And then I can go, well, yes or no, I will or I will not do that thing. Right. So if they say like, I bought a mega, or no, I bought specifically the backstage pass and it had this and it had that. People don't know how to spend when we answer the question with Scrooge McDuck swimming in coins. Like they don't know, they don't know what to buy, or at least I don't. Right.
Or the,
so
the British YouTuber that's just going, you know, or whatever.
Yeah, my money don't jingle jingle. It folds. Remember when that was a thing? Anyway, I have kids that watch these. People out there that are young and know exactly what that is. But I think it's important that we can have conversations with people that we trust about. Well, what did you spend? And how?
So same thing with the not the brag room, but the rant room, right? Like we have a rant room on ours. And let's not call out places or names, but we have seen Discord servers where the entire thing is a rant room. And negativity, like sociologists have proven negativity is viral. Like your negative attitude creeps into others easier than positive feelings. Like I forgot what it was, but it takes like 11 smiles to counter one frown that you see in a day. So
I call that the teacher's lounge mentality.
Oh,
because I used to substitute teach, right?
Yeah.
And so I know there's teachers out there. We've got teachers in our faction. God bless the teachers for what they do. One of the hardest jobs on the planet, right? Being an educator, especially of small children.
Right.
And I used to avoid the teacher's lounge because it would just be rant room. Right. They're like, oh, there's kids are so, or like, oh, the principal, the faculty, the budget, the staff, the parents. I just want a cup of coffee.
Tell me what's good in world.
I just want to get my coffee and get the heck out of here. Right.
Yeah.
And open chat can feel like that, right? Where it's just kind of dumping on. And I had a friend recently, we were connecting and he had been a little negative in faction chat. And this was incredible. Like we started DMing and it wasn't the game at all that was the problem. In real life had gotten really hard for this person. And the game was an easy thing to talk about or to rant about when really that person's life was, overwhelming, right? Challenging. So there's always more than meets the eye in your faction and in this game and in the community. Robots in disguise. Maybe that'll be our next partnership for champions.
WWE Champions.
Really cool Optimus Prime Triple H. Or whatever.
Maybe.
Triple H always gets like the main protagonist, character.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, John Cena. So is that your prediction for the anniversary month next month, that Transformers are coming into the game? Shockingly, surprising everyone.
Not Transformers, but I do think the game is transforming. Nice segue, right?
That's two nice segues in one
Something's
episode. Good job,
happening
Rusty.
in the game, and we're all trying to figure out what it is, right? Where there have definitely been more showdowns recently, right? Some of you love Showdown, right? You love it.
Yeah.
You've got everything you need for it. You've got strong defense, you've got a strategy. I am finding, and this is not throwing shade at anybody, but I'm finding the players that love Showdown typically have a strategy for it. The players that don't love it typically don't have a strategy for it. So maybe we should feature Showdown in the next episode or in a future episode. I don't think we actually have.
Well, if they're going to do 7 of them a week, then we might as well, right?
Okay.
We're going to talk about it.
Okay. But here's what I think is, maybe Showdown fatigue is real, or, gosh, before Showdown fatigue, what was it? CSS fatigue with the tours. I don't have that. I don't have that superstar. Fatigue. I can't do that. That the whole node is just totally unaccessible to me, because I don't have, I've got to buy that person. Oh, well, I got him in the portal, but he was only 3-star. So now I have to pay to get him to 5-star, or I have to use all my whoa, whatever was happening midweek before had I think the same volume and frequency of pushback on it. I don't know that the format is necessarily the issue, but I think midweek will always create some sort of dilemma, right? We've got more time to play in the weekend. Our rosters are usually designed for weekend events. Yeah. And maybe they don't feel so good for midweek events. You got any thoughts on that?
Well, this week's a good example. So Monday, Tuesday, we had a separate showdown from Wednesday, Thursday. So when we're talking back to back to back to back like that, that does get to feel like, oh goodness. Now, here's the reality. Like, my view on Showdown changed 100% in one move, and that was me getting Neidhart, right? So Neidhart with 1 gear, that's all he needs, and that's all I've got. Neidhart with 1 gear, I can now win any match as long as there's the ability to run 2 Hall of Fames turn 1. Actually, even without that, I just swap out Gable instead of 150% additional damage on his finisher, which he doesn't necessarily need. It just goes faster. You can swap out for George the Animal Steel. So either way, I should be good to turn 1, any feud and any showdown. And so now it's not as big a deal. But
who are you using on your defensive front to keep your streak going and your what is it called? What is it called? The notoriety? How do you keep?
Keep your notoriety from getting hit. Yeah. So I'm not chasing leaderboards, so I really don't care. In fact, if you notice, like, as soon as I hit the highest league, the elite league or whatever, elite champion, I immediately put fodder into mine, because I want other people to get their CSS more than I want a leaderboard. So
I do that too.
Yeah, it's
we just call, if you're listening to this, that's the thing to do. Can we just please all go back to doing that? Like, once you hit elite league, put in your lowest talent superstars to help the little guy, right?
Thank you for all the 2-star Bubba Ray Dudley and Devons that I saw this week, because that seemed to be, I was like, look at all those Dudley boys out there. Thank you. Especially when you have 47 CSS you have to hit on
my
a showdown
lowest
like this one.
Talent superstar that I use for that is always, I don't even remember his name. He's one of the Anderson brothers, the part of the aren't they what the heck are they?
Carl?
Yeah, Carl. Yeah. The ball.
He's not an Anderson brother. I mean, Doc Gallows is the other one.
Gallows and Anderson. I put the Anderson guy because he's like 600 talent. I just put him right in slot 1. Yeah.
Yep. Same.
So they're friends. They're not brothers.
No, they're not brothers. They've been running together for a long time.
What was their crew called? The
Good Brothers. Yeah, so that's where you get that from.
The Good Brothers.
Yeah, they're not actually brothers.
Are the
more
new
like More like brothers.
What are those brothers that are running with Ivy Nile called? Are they actually brothers?
I honestly don't know.
The gate,
I didn't know they existed until they got called up to the main roster because I don't watch NXT. So
I think it was called the Diamond Mine. Was like a
yeah,
faction in NXT.
the Creed brothers
the
and
Creed
Ivy
brothers.
Nile. Yeah,
The Creed brothers. Are their last names Creed, or have
I
they
have
taken
no
a
idea.
Creed to protect Ivy? Is this
The
like
Creed the brothers of the
I
Creed.
promise to do my best, to do my duty, to honor God and my country. Remember the Boy Scout? I was thinking about the Boy Scout motto from when I was
It's
a
not
little
a Boy
kid.
Scout either. I don't know.
What
Lots of
did you do
references
in your
today. I'm not
childhood if
getting
you weren't in
here.
Scout? My kids are in Scouts now because I had to suffer through Scouts. So I was like, you are too. You're going to be a
going
Scout.
too. It's a family tradition.
Learn how to be a good citizen of humanity. Be a Scout.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, back to the original Showdown. Like my view on Showdown changed the second I got a turn one character, right?
So you
That's
have a
guaranteed
strategy.
turn one. So that's my strategy. But think about like when we were in our lower faction and lower when our talents were lower and stuff like that. There was a time where as soon as you saw a 5-star, we called it the 5-star gold wall. Right. As soon as you got the 5-star gold wall, it was like, well, I can't play anymore because
Now it's
I'm
the
not going to be able to
6-star
beat those
silver
guys.
wall.
Yeah, 6-star
Permanently.
silver wall. Except for you got characters who break the walls down, and I've got one or two of those now. And
That's
so
you can't.
I
That's
can't
not.
use that one. That's not
That's not.
licensable. Dang it.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
not in. He's no longer in the universe that we're in. So.
Oh, right. Yes. He's in an
Proprietary
alternate universe.
rights. I don't know how intellectual property works and whatnot.
You just anyway. Yeah. Yes. So that is my strategy. But I mean, yeah, we can talk about Showdown on another time. But what would we do if there wasn't Showdown?
Well, tell me now. Well, no, hey, hang on. Hey, since we're here, people out there, we've walked right up to the line. What is a Showdown strategy to somebody who doesn't have one? Like, how do they win? How do they show it down? How do you
show it down?
How do they show that down?
I mean, honestly, the only strategy I had prior to getting a turn one character like Neidhart was just to, whatever, because Showdown, at least in the last stretch, has always been variable. Like, oh, okay, this time you have to use a Trickster, or this time you have to use Ruthless Aggression Era. So it kind of defeated having a strategy because you didn't know necessarily, I think this one has been very open and Hall of Fame based because we're in a Hall of Fame month.
Right.
But the next round, I might not even be able to use Neidhart. I might be able to, it might be use your best reality era character.
Female
or whatever.
Showboat. Female Showboat.
Female like Legend era Showboat. Use
really
your best female
category.
Legends era Showboat, right? And then you're like, okay, now what do I do? So really, I don't know that there's a way to prepare for Showdown other than to just have a balanced roster. Make sure you've got a 6-star silver if possible in every era, in each gender, and in each type. Like it's just, I mean, it is kind of a crapshoot when it comes to what's the next one going to be. I don't know. If it's modern era, it's very open. If it's reality era or ruthless aggression era, then you're going, oh, what do I do? I notice attitude era, obviously, the nostalgia one gets called up a lot. Like whenever there's an attitude era powerhouse and I don't have Big Papa Pump like somebody else I know here, I am looking at like, well, I just stopped leveling my powerhouse Booker since he was free. Like he's 5-star gold because he's a coach trainer. That's the best I got. Right. So, you get into those situations where you're just having a balanced roster is the only strategy I know to have.
Well, okay. So I'll add a few more little tips then.
Okay.
So you need to have Showdown promoters, right? You need to be unlocking and investing in and building up those Showdown promoters.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that.
But you probably need to do the required damage stuff before you slap on those notoriety promoters. Say you have to break 100 multiply gems, right? Or you have to break. So you're going to have to grind against probably lower tiered opponents before you try to shoot up the ladder and run into the 6-star silver wall, right? Or you're going to have to accept that I'm just going to lose, but I'm still going to accomplish that mission. I don't need the win. I'm getting the required damage. Now that could come after you shoot up the ladder, hit elite, nerf out your defense, and then you can say, well, from now, okay, I just need 50 wins with any Brett, right, or whatever,
Right.
or I mean, I need to do like 5,000 damage with any Brett, right? And I need to do that 100 times. Well, so then
Right.
you're just disposing Brett to loss. You're gonna run out of energy
Yeah.
eventually, right? But
So that was where I was going to sneak in on that
yeah.
one, but keep going, keep going. Finish your thought.
So my thing is this is like knowing the order that you need to climb the ladder in is important. If is it to deal, is it to get those CSS nodes? Well, what I've noticed now is it's win World Champion League or higher with
Right.
any Rhea Ripley, right? So then
Right.
you're like, okay, well, I've got to get to World Champion League. I can get there fast if I load up with my promoters, or I can
Right.
get there slow and work on other tasks along the way until I get there. I like to get there as fast as I can to unlock all of those. Like
Yeah.
I throw on my promoters, I race to the top, but I also have some superstars that are capable of quick wins, right? The way some people may not have a turn one killer.
Right.
Ghostbuster
Right.
Cena will really help you, first of all, or
Yeah. You
any
can use
other
them.
way you can kind of cheese out wins. There's a lot of ways to do this, but I think what's important is to know what you're going to get rewarded for and what you can do within it. Lee and I both had the same number of contest superstars for a recent showdown. I had one he didn't have. He had one I didn't have. Yet his
Mhm.
score, he was like 3 or 4 milestones ahead of where I was. And I said, how the heck did you do that? We're on this, we
Yeah.
played the same number of matches. And he said, well, I took into consideration that the showdown coins were also giving points. So
Right.
he equipped showdown coin promoters while I was equipping showdown notoriety promoters. And he was ahead of me in the event.
Right. Yeah, so that's where I was going to interject is as you were kind of saying before is I think you're talking about notoriety versus your whatever on your trainers. My goal is as quickly as possible to get to Elite Legend League or whatever. Now, once you unlock World, usually you keep your turn one killer in spot one, and then you use your other spot to hit CSS. But that's my goal. I don't worry about deal damage with or blah, 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 etc. Because one of two options, once I get to Elite, by the way, because that's the most points usually, that's the scale. Every single
Right.
milestone gives you a set of points. Then once you get to Elite Legend or whatever, immediately switch to your Showdown coin promoters, which are only available right now in the King of Kings pass, but you should have gotten one free when they first came out, and the possibility of getting a second one somehow. I don't remember. There was, yeah, I think whether it was like, well, even just if you do the King of Kings pass for a short amount of time, one of the characters is like 600 currency every time, and you can get them very quick. I don't remember if that one was, I know Booker's the most expensive,
I
so it
think
might have been
Angle
Kurt
might be the
Angle. Oh, it was
cheapest
Kurt
now.
Angle, and I
Yeah.
didn't get the double up because I got Kurt Angle as my free one. So that's what it
Oh, yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different ways to climb the ladder in Showdown. I think what really matters is that you know your roster and what it can do, and you know the requirements that you have to meet, and how can you
Right.
meet those requirements with your roster. One thing I like to do is I like to I'm very vocal about kind of nerfing out my defense after I hit elite. And I like to
Mm.
do that when I go to bed that first night of the showdown. And then I
Yeah.
hope I've lost a ton of matches when I wake up the next day. And then I can go and not necessarily try to find open opponents, but I go to the opponents that have beaten me and I check and see if they have also nerfed down their defense. Cause then I hit
There you go.
rematch, and because I always look by default at all of my rematch options first before trying to
Oh,
find new opponents.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do that at all. But that's interesting. I mean, this is kind of the variance in strategy there. Like I do start to look for people who have nerfed their lineup, but even if they don't, it's fine. And honestly, when you're doing the damage ones, especially like you have to deal X number of damage with whoever, if someone has nerfed their roster, it actually works against you because then they don't have the damage for you to do. You can get the win, but you're no
Right.
longer caring as much about the
That's
win as
right.
you care about the damage. So in that case, I look for a 6-star or 6-star silver, preferably silver, that is not a turn one character, right? Somebody who's not like gonna destroy me right away. Because like, okay, good example here. One of the CSS for a recent showdown was Bushwhacker Butch. Anybody has taken up Bushwhacker Butch beyond his training ability, I would be absolutely surprised. And I'm sure somebody's now going to post in the comments, I got him 6 silver, or maybe that's my next challenge now. Like, yeet. But whatever it is, you know, doing 225 damage 100 times with Bushwhacker Butch took me an insane amount of time because I couldn't find people I could beat that were, I mean, that didn't beat me fast enough or too fast, right? So no matter what I did, like he doesn't have a stun lock. He doesn't. So here's another strategy for you, something on there. What I did was for this particular showdown, Mr. Perfect Hall of Fame was one of the CSS plus Hall of Fame counted every single time you won. So I put in Mr. Perfect Hall of Fame, created the, you know, stun locked him. And while I was stun locking him, I created the whole board into multi gyms.
Yeah.
Then I switched to Butch and did his cross break build
so
that Butch was doing damage that Butch can't normally do by himself.
You
know, that's some strategy that you can play around with, is using your first turn character, your slot 1, to make your second slot.
That's what hard. I did. I did that because I saw Goldie doing it on stream that day. Goldie was saying like she basically figured out, how are we going to crack this, you know, this Butch requirement. And I was like, oh,
look at you. Easy. Good minds think alike.
Shout out to Goldie, the best content creator out there. The S+ tier content creator. That's what I always called her.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I don't know, you know, whatever. Like, I think she's great. If you disagree with me about Goldie, I'll stone cold stun you in a dark alley. So, yeah.
What are we doing in a dark alley together?
Well, why are you talking about Goldie when we're in the dark alley together? Talking about negative about her.
This went places.
It's yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anniversary month is coming up in a matter of days. This 2-month-long contest will be over. We will bid farewell to Mr. Vinci and Mr. Ludwig.
Ludwig. Kaiser.
Oh, Kaiser. Kaiser's. I can't remember what
Ludwig Kaiser, not Kaiser
Ludwig Kaiser. So the Victory Tours came out yesterday, which means the MLC is drawn to a close. And Lee, do you have any hopes and dreams for Anniversary Month? What does Anniversary Month mean if you're new to the game and you're wondering what in the heck is Anniversary Month?
So if you're new to the game, it's a birthday, right? It's the birthday month of the game. And just like a birthday celebration in a family, they kind of treat it like, hey, this is a special month for us, right? It's February, so there's going to be Valentine's Day events. Usually,
it's a leap year, so it's going to be a longer month.
Oh, they'll probably throw in a leap year, leap day kind of event, those type things. But in particular, for however many. That's right. Wow.
I was thinking about his Royal Rumble antics when he always avoids the floor. Leaping Kofi Kingston jumps from the table to the rail to the chair to the ring off somebody else's head. Wow. Yeah.
But I don't know if they do a leap day event, I know I don't know contract status or things like that, but he is a deceased wrestler at this point. Leapin' Lanny Poffo.
Why would you
the Nacho King's brother?
Why would you bring up somebody that's passed away? Why do you think you're just bumming us out here, man?
I'm sorry.
Kofi Kingston is the new leaper. Okay, can you just
he's Leapin' Lanny Kingston.
Let Kofi have the title of the Great Leaper.
Wow.
He's leaping everywhere. Just wait till Rumble. You'll see. He's
if they can finally, the last couple of years, we'll get to that in the WWE chatter. But so it's a special celebration. So if nothing else, they have a history of sending out a player appreciation pack that is somewhat nice and kind and fun.
Freebies?
And it's based on how many years you've been playing the game. So if you've been played from the beginning, you get more than the person who's played for a year. But
I did not know this information.
Yeah. That's how I figured out how long I'd been playing the game without looking at the portal, because I thought I had been playing a little bit longer than I did last time they did one of these things. And maybe they don't this year, but that's something I remember from it. Subject to change.
This is not predictive. This is aspirational. In case you're listening, we're not saying what's going to happen.
No inside information.
We're only saying what we hope happens.
You want to know what my inside information is, though? There's going to be a blog next Monday, because there always is, right? And likely Professor, because that's his spot. And they're going to announce the new characters. They're going to drop them onto our rosters. And next Monday and Tuesday are the busiest Monday and Tuesday I've had in a long time. So I am going to be up late working on these previews.
Maybe I'll do the preview for us again. Maybe since I'm such a
they'll
preview
be
master now, maybe I'll do both. Maybe I'm that incredible at
there
this
you go.
all of a sudden. If you watched our Hall of Fame Vader preview, you know I'm not that great at them, and I'm still learning how to be the driver in the previews, because Lee has watched infinitely more preview videos than I have over the years, and I'm the guy who's posted. How do I run this? What do I do?
Well,
hey,
last time we did, you took the free, I took the chase. We'll figure something out. But what cool. I do think, and this is a spoiler for anybody who's watching our content, I'm going to try and get the 3-minute move set out for the free character as quick as possible, because I didn't do the 3-minute move set for Ludwig until like week 6 of this MLC.
Ludwig Kaiser.
Right.
Sounds
and people just want to see how you run them. We're also going to try, like, they dropped the 6-star character on our rosters. So we'll do that preview. We're going to try and get them off our roster as quick as possible and do the 3 or 4-star, like whatever we end up getting.
Yeah, we want to get you like a low tiered preview so that you can say, how do I use this guy when I have him?
Now.
Who do you think it's going to be, guy or girl? We're talking about hopes and dreams. Hopes and dreams for the anniversary.
Hopes and
month.
dreams.
Who are you hoping or dreaming? What are you dreaming of in the game? Who are you hoping I don't care if they're free or chase. That doesn't matter. Who do you hope is added to the game in the next month, or emphasized or focused around? Who we got?
I have 2. So the free character.
That's the first rule. Can't say CM Punk.
I have 1.
I'm just kidding. Every chat of every Twitch that I've been in since CM Punk.
When do we get CM Punk?
Where's Punk? Where's Punk? Do we get Punk?
Supercard got him. Well, they take a picture.
The community is very excited about CM Punk, no doubt.
Oh yeah, as they should be. If you saw that Raw preview with Cody, like, oh my gosh. So we'll talk about, well, again, stay to the end of the episode. We'll talk about that.
Awesome.
Woo. But okay, so here's my first hope. I love that they added Sherry to the game. We needed a female legend. She is still not super accessible.
Nobody's getting Sherry, bro. She's super out of reach.
A free legend era female that is similar in tone to an ability to the free characters we've had the last several months. That would be amazing.
I have no idea. The rights. I have no idea.
Right. Yeah, we have no insight. They have to have like very special rights to every character. Like whenever somebody asks, why don't they just put this person in the game? Like they legitimately have to work out. Not
because
only
that person's lawyer would instantly send
people's estates. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like it's not simple to get somebody in this game. That's why you sometimes see multiple versions, which I would be fine if the free Legends female that I want to see for this next MLC is scary Sherry, not sensational Sherry, but scary Sherry.
I would love scary.
That would be technician free Legends era female. Make it happen, please.
Why technician?
What about your? Oh, I don't know. I was saying that on the spot because she's not a powerhouse character.
You know what the community wants?
I don't want to showboat.
I am a man of the people. And you know what the people want?
What do they want, Rusty?
Free MLC showboat. That's what they want. They want a showboat.
No showboat. Then it can't be the Legends
over and over and over in the Twitch streams. They're like, we haven't had a showboat since Mutant Priest. Why don't we ever get showboats? Why don't we ever get showboats in the game? You know what else they want? This is the other thing the community wants. The community wants another Hall of Fame acro, and they were confused why Hall of Fame Ray was not an acro.
Oh, I can answer that quick. That's easy. Because there's already 2 acrobat Rays in the game.
There's also multiple striker Undertakers.
Well, yeah, but there's not 3 of them. There's not 3. Oh,
there's also multiple powerhouse Triple H.
It's true.
Yeah.
But there's not 3 of them.
You can do it for some. You can do it for some, but not for all.
Rusty, I had something to say to you. Rusty.
That was my $1 million man laugh.
Everybody I have something to say to you, Rusty.
What is it?
What does everybody want?
No, I'm not going to say that on here. They do. That is a popular name.
Every time you say that, though, like what is it?
Al Snow, like, one of the most I
I
think
want Al Snow in the game.
more attitude era, because I think
Yeah.
that was the era of our childhood and our teen years. People want to see more attitude era in the game for sure.
I
So
want to
your
see Al Snow in the game.
so your hopes and dreams would be Scary Sherry.
Tech, Legends era, female.
Tech
Yes.
Legends era female. And then
Yep.
let's say who else? There, you said a second one. Give us a second one. I mean, we know who it is, but who is it?
We need a good
Matthew
Nia
Punk.
Jax in this game. We
Oh,
need
I
a
thought you were
really
saying
good
CM Punk. What?
It is CM Punk.
Why did you say
I mean,
Nia Jax?
honestly, whenever CM Punk goes into the game, that's when they're going, hi there. So he's not going to be free. He's not going to be the chase character.
What do
He's going to be a
see?
weekend. A lot of cash coming from CM Punk's vicinity. Yes.
How cool would it be if both the free and the chase were variations of CM Punk? Kind of like the Rocky event.
Yeah.
Like, what if the free
They're not doing
MLC superstar was a showboat
They're
CM
not doing
Punk?
that.
And then, but he's like at best, he's a trainer, right? He's somebody that you're like, okay,
they're not doing
he's
that.
cool.
I'm just preparing everybody in the community. I have no inside
but
information, but as soon as CM
awesome.
Punk comes out,
OP Striker Punk, right? What if every weekend superstar was a variation of CM Punk? What if you had
they just get all 6 right away? All Showboat Powerhouse,
Straight Edge, the straight edge
zombie
superstar,
CM Punk, Hall of Fame CM Punk,
everyone,
Pepsi Phil, all of them.
Yeah, the young Punk with very little tattoos and really long hair, you know.
ECW CM Punk, all of them just right at once.
Well, I guess we can argue the absurd, because that's basically the way the community chat feels these days. They have very high hopes for CM Punk. Any other hopes and dreams for anniversary month? What about a couples event in the past?
Couples event,
Bianca and Montez, or Becky and Seth, or like the CSS.
That's what they did last time.
And they had special gear, and they had kissy kissy, lovey lovey. Like, you think we're gonna see? Are we gonna see maybe Scarlett added to the game, and
that'd be
Karrion Kross, TikTok Cross is gonna be part of it?
Well, so here's some thoughts. Okay, so Lunatic, LOONATIC, just posted in Merrick's server under the predictions, who do you think's coming to the game for next month? And they put Roman, not happy with that. Nia Jax, not happy with that. Drew McIntyre, and a new Logan Paul. So there you go.
Why would that be?
That's their 4.
So it's like, that would be the court of least popular public opinion. Is that what they did? They took a straw poll of like, who are the 4 people the community would like lash out against? I know, another Roman.
If there was an OP Roman, I mean, because unless you have the mutant one, you're just sitting here going like all the rest of them are not good anymore. Not good. But anyways, no, I mean, I think AOP coming in again now that they're back, that would be great.
In the game. What are you talking about? They're there.
Most people don't have them, and that is
I'm an old guy.
Okay, can we talk about one thing I for sure want to see this month?
Oh no. I know what you're gonna say. I know
this is another game. This is another game.
Oh no, we're not allowed to talk about it. Are we?
WWE 2K24.
Yeah, it looks like a cool
bonus pack.
It's not as good as Champions, of course.
It's not. Honestly, I'm not joking about that. But I mean, it's gonna be super cool though. But their bonus pack that you can buy is the Roads to Glory or something like that. Either way,
if you pre-order the game, you get a digital download for
with Stardust.
Yeah.
It comes with Stardust. Put Stardust back in the game. I don't have fake AJ Styles in the game.
I love how he does the cartwheel into that thing and then he separates it. And if you notice, Cody pulled that same cartwheel in the in the Seth match. Like, that was the thing he did.
Yeah.
Almost like a tip of the hat.
Like a callback.
Yeah.
And then did the.
Yeah. They're telling great stories. Great stories.
Oh my goodness. We'll get
Cody
there. We'll get
the best. Maybe another Cody would be
what
great.
do you think?
I'd love another Cody. I would love a Cody.
You would love to get a Cody.
I would love, maybe Acro Cody, the indie darling.
Yeah. I could see that. Or the what's the one, the face mask, the Unprettier or whatever that he had.
Dashing Cody Rhodes.
Undashing Cody Rhodes. Either way.
I think did they ever start calling him Dastardly instead of Dast? I feel like
no, they called him Undashing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I would go for that. He could do an acrobat character, and I could see that.
So I think we're at a point where we're gonna have to start giving in-game support to the people that are high in the storylines. And I know,
Yeah.
but I know that takes time. Like I
Right.
know they cannot just snap their
Right.
fingers, put someone in the game.
Well,
Uh,
that's why AOP would work, because there's previous character
right,
models, so they could
right,
swap them out quick. But in terms of adding somebody new like CM Punk into the
yeah,
game, that they have to play test the model, they got to get the face right, or they got to be willing, like with Cody and Gunther, to go back and fix it later,
all right.
like
Here's
whatever.
here's a prediction. Maybe this is a hope and a dream. Okay, so the last few months we saw Mosh and Thrasher, and they were a
Oh no,
team. They were a
no
team,
more.
and they were tricksters. And then the
No,
next month we saw
no,
Kaiser and Vinci, and they're a team, and
no.
they're tech.
Okay.
I think the game is ripe and ready for a new and true updated version of the Usos.
Well, yeah, we could
And
see
I
that.
think
Neither have showboat cards,
Jimmy
or
would
they both do.
be the Freeb, and I think
Okay.
Jay, main event Jay Uso, would be the Chase.
Okay.
And I think continuing the trend of same class. Okay, so we've got two out, right?
Right.
I think this could be the month that we
Double
see
striker.
Showboat double feature of the Usos.
The zombie of them is a showboat. They won't do it. I'm just calling it.
Oh, that's good.
Zombie.
That's true. You totally
But double
refuted my
striker?
theory.
Sorry.
That would be tough.
Double striker.
I'd be okay with that. My strikers are traditionally not even remotely usable. Like I have the worst striker luck. The worst, the worst, the worst. Even so much so that like the day Butch was offered in the portal, like I raced to buy it. I was like,
Right.
I don't know if this is a mistake, but I'm buying this Chase striker, and I'm putting a rocket launcher on his back, and I've got Butch at 6-star silver with the
It's good.
sheriff's badge and the Z plate,
Better.
and he
Even
is my
better.
best striker by a mile.
Can I tell you who the bottom of my striker roster is?
Who?
Sitting at level 1, hasn't been touched since I pulled him about 6-ish, 7 weeks ago.
Who?
The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
I remember. Yeah.
I haven't had the ability. Like it's just been. It's not for lack of wanting to, but he's literally the
Wow. I wish I had
fodder of
these
my
first world
strikers.
problems that, oh, I just have this unleveled Cody Rhodes. I just can't find the resources to use him. I just have to dump all of my trillions of coins into so many other
Trillions, yeah, right.
superstars.
Yeah, every single talent up video, I'm like, I can't hit 700 because it's not going to work, and then I'm like, oh, but I've got to, and then I end up with like this much coin, and I go, I'm not going to survive the
Yeah, the
next one.
700, man, it was so good to me when I had very few moments.
Right.
It was just law of odds were in my
Yeah.
favor. Now I feel like the odds are against me, and I'm getting redundant moments, and that is a
Yeah.
really, really feel bad. Like
Yeah.
I wish
The
I
last
wish it was
one.
a plate. I wish it was a plate and not 4 moments. I think I would rather have a premium plate coin that I got
Right.
to choose a plate from a premium plate.
Right.
That would be bonkers.
That would be amazing. I would go for that because I got 3 in one bag that has 4 moments in it. I got 3 of the same moment in the one bag, and the other one I got was garbage too. So
It's always like the WrestleMania 3 moment. It's like,
yeah, no, mine's the like introduction of DX where they're on the tank that's really a Jeep.
Right.
Okay, so before we leave this segment and go to WWE TV, something that we didn't talk about,
what?
and something that we absolutely should have because it was timely.
Yeah.
The change to Flash feuds. How are we feeling about the change to Flash feuds?
Yeah, I mean that really created a buzz.
Yeah.
The times of the feuds weren't any different.
Right.
The the division of the score really seemed to create a commotion.
It did.
I didn't feel, with my time constraints and my work on the weekends, I knew the 100 million just wasn't even within reach, right?
Right.
Like I knew. I was very happy with the 20 million milestones. I was very happy with um I was very happy with the continuation of the when you buy the collector's loot and you get the free flash feud steps. I was very happy that I had what it took to start that feud with 50% more war score by default. And I have had a unusually high success rate with those pull coins that have come out of those collectors pack. That's where I got Judgment Day Balor. It's, I can't remember who else. Like that loot has been better odds than most
for you
loot in the game for me. Yeah, for sure. And I was getting like new superstars and like premium, like ones that you would chase and want to have on your roster.
I'm jealous.
So with that being said, I knew 100 million was out of reach. So I enjoyed the Flash feud, knowing that my loot and my payout, my milestones, my steps, I've got what it takes to definitely hit 20 million. Definitely.
Right.
Even in the Sunday morning feud, I still hit it, right? I still got that loot. And I want to say I did better than 20 on several of me. I went up to 50 million or beyond. So like for me, it was a normal Flash feud weekend. I know I had at least a cumulative score of 50 million, which is kind of the what you're shooting for in a normal Flash feud. So I would say it didn't affect me all that much.
Well, then, can I share my story?
Yeah.
So I shared this in our content creator chat that has a couple of the mods, some key people in there. But for me, I want to first say I love the fact that they're experimenting. Like, how many times do people say, oh, feud has been the same forever, Showdown's been the same forever, and then when they try something different, it's like, how dare you change that? Like, I hate this, right? Like, we can't talk out both sides of our mouth, right? And so I'm not going to talk out both sides of my mouth.
I hate this, but don't change it.
Right, exactly. I like the fact that they experimented with something. Now, did I like it? No, quite honestly. I like the idea and concept. My struggle was, and this isn't every weekend, but in particular this weekend, I had something going on Friday night. I had Taekwondo training on Saturday morning, and I can't play on Sundays hardly at all, right? So Saturday night was the only feud that I knew I was going to hit. In a normal Flash feud, I can hop in, do my CSS for the other ones, and then hit the bulk of my points in one. What I did learn from this, and this was actually really cool for me, but like Taekwondo ended Saturday morning, right? I couldn't play Friday night hardly at all. I literally hit, I think 7 million at best on my war score. So Saturday morning, I had, when Taekwondo ended, I went to the lobby, I sat down, and I literally had 28 minutes on the clock was all I could feud for. So theoretically, that's one match. So I threw my best characters in there. Luckily, on the player's choice loot that you kind of inspired me to pull, I got Drew McIntyre for
That's
Regal.
The best loot.
So thank you for
that's
that.
That's the best loot. If you are going to spin a loot, you need to check players. I mean, like player's choice when it pops up. For me, it's like, this is the one. This is the one I'm doing. Yeah, because I like out of the 15 pulls, I think I got 6 new superstars in one.
Yeah, including
and then
Big Papa Pump.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, it's crazy. That's
right.
That's
it was insane for you. Whereas
Super
I got one big hit and that was it. But it was okay. It was the one I needed, which was Drew McIntyre. So William Regal now hits for, even like
infinity damage, I heard.
Yeah. Right, infinity damage. So anyway, the thing that was neat about this that I really liked is I set up my lineup within this 28 minutes. I set up my lineup, I feuded, and I was going, okay, if I get a, average or less partner, this is my one shot. So I'm going to hit 5 million, excuse me. I'm going to hit 5 million and that's going to be it. I ended up getting back to back to back really good partners. In 26 minutes, I did 20 million war score. that
Wow.
proved something to me of like, oh, I can, like, following BDC's advice, I can be on that level now. And that's incredible. However, that was the longest I had to play in 3 different events, right? So Sunday morning, I could barely play. I hopped on, I got my CSS as usual, but I didn't even get 7 million war score. Friday night, I got 7 million war score, and I got 20 million on Saturday in 20 minutes, boom. But then the Saturday night was your females, and it's harder to have a turn 1 destroyer. Mine is Zombie Becky, and she was nerfed, right? You couldn't use her. Although I do have a recorded video because I got to face DJ and T Unit. I've
I
got me
faced
whooping T
Goldie
Unit.
and
Yeah.
her partner and
Oh, Godflow?
they no well they yeah and they dealt with us handily. So
Right.
I ran into a wood chipper is what I felt like. I was just shredded.
Wow.
Yeah, because
Well,
they both had like um full perks maxed on the new Ministry of Darkness Undertaker. And it was just
yeah.
like, well, that didn't
Guess
work.
I'm done.
Like nothing I threw at that Undertaker was able to best him. Yeah.
Well, I took down T Unit, so shout out to T. DJ actually messaged me in our little content creators chat and said, "Dude, I started recording a video, but you had max perks, you had the D-bag played on people." He
He
goes,
had to
"I
stop his
scrapped it.
video so
I
he wouldn't
scrapped
show.
it." I was like, "Oh, that would have been who got. DJ got in reverse, right?"
That's awesome.
So that side of things were great.
I was
Now,
making some
here's what I
content, but then
suggested.
my account melted, and so I had to stop it.
That's right. He hit the brick wall.
That's
I'm the brick
awesome.
wall.
That's
No,
good.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But so
Show
here's the real
people you
thing
can
though.
lose, DJ. Show people the real you. Okay, come on.
Wow. Wow.
You ain't.
Here we are calling out. Yeah. And now
I
DJ's gonna own
admitted
us.
losing. I admitted
Own us.
Goldie just shred. Like I
There you
beat her
go.
whole line, but I couldn't beat her Undertaker.
Oh yeah.
And I'm happy to admit, like I got whooped, right?
Yep.
And I
Yep.
would show if I was filming, I'd show it. Like, look at this, Goldie.
Goldie whooped me.
Show the
Yep.
world
Hey,
what you got, DJ.
I have a screenshot from I don't know how long ago, at least 2, 3 years ago, because it was 5-star gold meta of her 5-star gold Rob Van Dam taking me down. I didn't video it, but several years ago, long before I was a content creator, she was like just becoming one, I think. Either way, her RVD put me down.
You
So
know
there
what?
you go. So
Here's a screenshot that surfaced recently. Was our old faction leader Smits in the Victorious faction family
okay.
found an old screenshot of me begging Mirix to take my line because I was outmatched, and like he's like here's proof you guys really were in the same faction and you did feud together, and here's you calling for him to bail you out, and he's some things
Oh
haven't
man,
changed.
send me that.
So
That's awesome.
it's like some things never change, man. I'm still that
That's
guy.
right.
Tag, please.
Tag, get me out of here. Okay, so to end this segment, but here's what I got for this. So here was my idea, and I did submit this to the content creators chat. I won that once upon a time was a horrible player in the Call of Duty franchise, right? And I mean bottom of the barrel, just crap, trash. Anyway, but Call of Duty has this thing called prestige, right?
Right.
So you get to your max level, then you use a prestige and you have all of the rewards, but it resets you back to the bottom and you get to do it again. Destiny, similar for the Iron Banana event, Iron Banner. You can do the same. You can prestige, so to speak, and reset your rewards and get working towards this ultimate reward. Here's what I want to see from Flash Feuds. And if you followed our last episode, drop this in the forum as a constructive criticism. Say, hey, Flash Feud was a little rough, but if it were such that you're working towards one unified war score goal of 100 million or whatever.
Million. Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, whichever one of them, right? So across every of it, all 4 of them, you get one war score, but you can prestige once per event. So if you hit 100 million, you can prestige and restart for the next one. You get all those rewards up to 100 million, then you restart for the next one. Or if it takes you 2 events to prestige, you prestige and then you can do it, 2 more times theoretically or whatever. So you're in kind of control of how high you can go. Because for me, I did hit 20 million once. I hit the main one that I could do Saturday night. I could only get it to 60 million, and I crashed. I was tired. Like I was playing late into the night because I was
I think that was the
exhausted.
female feud, if I
That
remember.
was, yeah.
Yeah.
And that was part of it. I couldn't use Regal or Neidhart, right? Otherwise, I'd have whoop, whoop, whoop. There we go. And it also matters who you get partnered with. Like I say, I got partnered, really good
The likes
partners
of me, probably.
the Saturday on the Saturday morning one. And I had a few times during Saturday night where I was, I mean, you should average destroying your line in 10 to 15 minutes. So I'm usually done in about 10 minutes. And if the other person takes 30, I'm not mad at them. Like it's just, I'm going to sit there for 20 minutes. Right. So, yeah, anyways, but imagine then that you could get all the rewards up to 100, because I did not get a single time of that plate bag. And I mean, self-admittedly found out I can hit 20 million war score in 30 minutes. I did not get a single one of those bags, and I need those plates.
Will you
Like
teach
I
me
have
how to do
very
that?
few plates.
Will you
Yeah, well,
teach me how to do
It's
that?
what BDC said on one of our other episodes. But yeah, absolutely. We could do
I gotta go
another.
back and listen to it. I
We
think
can
I
do
even
another
read
one.
that transcript. I think I read his
You
responses.
were the one who read through it. Yeah.
Yeah. Lord help me.
Well, we've got a community spotlight. I was able to sit down with 2Live Brew and just chat about the game. And so we're going to insert that through the magic of technology into this next moment. And then we're going to move on. In Rusty and I's timeline, it's going to be a 2-second transition. In yours, you got about 10 or 15 to listen to the insights of the wonderful 2Live Brew. Well, what's up, WWE Champions Universe? We are on a community spotlight, and today we have 2Live Brew. So, 2Live, introduce yourself, tell us what faction you're in, and a little bit about your faction before we get started.
Hey champions, how's it going? 2Live Brew here. Part of the Booty faction. Kind of been all over for the last six couple of years, but Booty is where the guys that I started playing with are at now, so I'm with them.
Nice. Nice. What's your favorite thing about your faction?
Um, Probably the original 6 or 8 of us that I started with just kind of have known each other for a long time and just goof off together and clown on each other, treat each other like brothers.
Nice. Nice. And you've been playing this game almost since day one, right? Pretty close?
Pretty close. Yeah, probably right after the MP trainers came out. So
Oh, okay. So that was a big transition in the game.
yeah.
Wow. So give us a little bit of history about your time in the game, and maybe how do you think it's changed and evolved over that 6.5 years?
Well, I mean, when I get started, like I said, I was with the Hayden family, no longer exists. Shout out to Dr. Seb. He was kind of my mentor when I got started. He's still with me today. Still, if I have any questions that I haven't figured out by now, he's the go-to guy for me.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, moved around, got to know a lot of people in this community, was with DJ for about 2 years in his faction.
DJ Anon ZT?
Anon, yeah.
Yeah.
He's actually a good buddy. We used to live about 20 miles from each other.
Okay.
So got to know him and Tiff pretty well over the last couple of years.
Nice.
And I mean, I remember chasing my first 3-star when Arn Anderson first came out, and he was my first 3-star gold.
That's a little bit different era of the game, huh?
Way
do you still
different.
build him up?
No, I can't remember the last time I've actually used him. Not even training anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the way the game works. I mean, from when you started, I mean we've talked about it before, like the power creep and the meta shift and stuff like that. Who would you say maybe are some of those guys that you just absolutely loved for a long stretch, but that maybe kind of got power crept out and you can't really do much with them anymore?
Stardust and Bray for sure.
Nice. And
remember.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I said I remember getting Bray was my first 4-star, and Stardust wasn't too far behind. I think I actually got Stardust in whatever that giveaway was when they went to 4-star as my fuse up.
Was that like one of the things? Was it a giveaway, or was it like one of those events where if you had certain characters and beat like certain matches?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was like a kind of like a prize wall thing.
Gotcha. And now, from then to kind of now, who are some of your top characters? Who are you prioritizing on your roster, and why?
Right now, I'm kind of prioritizing my women just because they slacked for so long, and now that we're needing them more in boss battles and everything else. So working on my two trickster women in Chelsea and Hall of Fame Tori with gear at the moment. But my main 6-star silver guys, I guess, would be both acolytes, Braun, Ted Cody, D'Lo with the showstopper.
So would you say D'Lo with the showstopper or the heartstopper plate, the blue one?
Yeah, it's a showstopper. Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. So would you prioritize D'Lo over like Acro Bianca, for example?
I actually just got Acro Bianca, so she's part of one of the women I'm working up.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
So now
when
you got some
I was
decisions to
able
make.
just to recruit her with the shards this month from the bags.
So the accidental bag that seems like was like, where did that come from? You recruited
No,
with
the
that.
monthly bags that were in the monthly giveaway.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Dang, I was
yeah.
gonna say because there was one day during this Hall of Fame event where all of a sudden there was a Acro Bianca bag, and I saw
Yeah,
a
no,
couple
I
people
had
got it.
actually already recruited her when that came out.
Okay, I was gonna say that's awesome, but that would
But
be
yeah, that would have been great had I not recruited her previously to that.
right, right. And you mentioned the acolytes. So we just, as we're recording this, finished up boss battle yesterday. It was, and of course Bradshaw was the one that was like, as long as you can get the moves good in one turn. We had a few people on our in our faction that were just turn oneing the level 23. What was your experience with that?
My first boss battle, I actually carried 3 people and hit 1.44 billion turn one.
Jeez. Oh, that's
But I
awesome.
ran him all coaches, no MP, and just used 2 props just to try it out.
Okay. Okay, just to minimize the risk of leaving a
Minimize the
black
risk
move.
because I was carrying 3 other people.
Right. Well, I mean that's awesome that you can with him. I am acolyteless myself. The powerhouse Farouk I could have gotten on the thanks giveaway prize wall, I think it was, but I chose instead to use those towards the guaranteed 6-star pulls. So I got like Acro
Yeah,
Sean at 6-star and stuff like
those
that
guaranteed
instead.
6-2 pars were great for me.
Yeah, what'd you get?
Got both Steiners, Tech, who was in Machismo,
Wow.
who was like my biggest whale in the game forever. I never had any of his cards until like this year, and now I
Gotcha.
think I have all of them.
Nice. Nice.
But yeah,
Okay.
those were some great pulls for me. I still got a few of them I need to work up. Steiners being the big ones.
Yeah, yeah. Rusty has Tech, Scott Steiner, but other than that, I don't think either of us have any other Steiner. No, no Big Papa Pump. No, yeah, no Rick
Yeah, I don't got the big
Steiner.
pop pump. I got Rick,
Okay, yeah, I don't
but
have him either.
I've been running him with that bulldog plate and the create red, or after you break blue, create red,
Okay,
and it's been pretty nasty.
nice, nice. Okay. Well, with the community spotlight, we always like to give a chance for the guests to give some advice to the community. So it can be on any aspect of the game that you have a little bit of insight or some passion for. But what would be your advice to the champions community?
Patience. You think you're never going to get somebody, and I've thought the same thing for a long time, and just they'll come eventually.
Yeah.
That and don't waste resources, especially if you don't have an abundance. Wait for an event where you're going to gain them back plus some.
Okay. Okay. So
I
like
mean,
one of the
I have
things.
resources hoarded out the yin yang.
Do you? It seems
I
like
could
there's
probably
two
dump
types
another
in the
three
game.
million easily into my talent if I would just dump resources.
Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. It seems like there's kind of two thoughts on resources in the game. Like, I kind of push the go all in method. Like, even if you have to waste your resources, as long as you know you're going to get a reward back, don't just throw them at the wall or whatever. And then there's some that hoard for months. So it sounds like you're more on the hoard train, or is it like strategic spend?
More on the horde, but it's about ready to become a big dump to get these 6-star guys up and get ready for all of them ready for silver. So
Okay. How many are you trying to take silver?
probably 6 or 7 here in the next month or so.
Wow.
Definitely by after the next talent up or next event.
Okay, like the one that's coming up for end of the month flash feuds, or like start of
No,
the
no,
second
no, no.
anniversary?
When the new MLC contest starts,
The new okay,
I'll
gotcha.
probably take 1 or 2 during that flash feuds, but I have a ton of feuds up to use for that.
Nice. So you mentioned your secret sauce with the game is patience. So what does that look like other than hoarding resources? Like, what does that look like to help someone get ahead in the game?
I mean, I know that. I mean, especially starting off for the newer players, being that far behind is just going to be frustrating at times, and there's really just nothing you can do. Just continuously pluck away, and eventually, that one day you'll have that breakthrough where everything just becomes so much easier.
Nice. That's great advice. I know we talked about it a couple months ago, but there was a big influx apparently of new players, new players, and that's really good advice, because if you're new, on the one hand, Rusty and I've talked about the fact that it seems like there's never been more that they give away, and especially like how good the free characters can be. But on the other hand, you're so far behind that you need that, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. But yeah, it's definitely not a bad time to be a new person, just because of all the cards pretty much are that good right now. And anything that seems like the last few months, they've just given away a ton compared to what they used to.
Yeah. Yeah, big props to Scopely for this month too. Like, not afraid to call it out when it's not right, but when they're giving away the Hall of Fame gold tokens like they are now, finally, like, whew, that's stuff like that makes a big difference.
And they gave you a top tier Hall of Fame female for free to build up with those tokens.
Yeah, that's right. So actually, that's a good place to maybe close out the conversation. Let's talk about Tori for a little bit here. None of the official content creators got a 6-star poster on the roster like we normally do. We created a 4-star gold video. I've still got her 5 silver, I think, right now. But the question I get a lot is, how does she do at 6-star, and how do you run her?
She hits pretty dang hard, especially with the changeover, and I would definitely run her with her Leech Gem build for sure.
Okay. So the one that,
especially if you got 88 types of the Leech Gem trainers and coaches.
Okay. So that's the one. It creates the pyros that go into Leech, and then you buff the. Well, it used to be you buff the Leech. Now it's damage per.
Now you get damage per Leech.
And then you create a big area blue. That's so even at 6-star, that's still the moveset you're recommending.
Yeah, I mean, you're never gonna lose with the subset either, but I find it a little bit quicker and more damage with the Leech set for sure.
Okay. And you got her with 1 gear. How does that impact it for
I got her with 1 gear. It's the MP, I think, is the first one, so it definitely helps you to be able to put in an extra coach or trainer there.
Nice. Okay.
If you got the extra Leech trainer or Blue Gem damage trainer.
Okay. All right. Awesome. That's super helpful, because that, like I said, that's come up a number of times now. Is how do we run Tori at 6? And
I'm trying to get her leveled up. And when I do, maybe I'll put a preview video out and send out to you guys for you.
Oh, there you go. That'd be sweet. All right. Well, last question before we go from our community spotlight here. If there were any superstar, they got to be WWE, in terms of where we are at least realistic to what the licensing could look like. But any superstar that you don't really see in the game that you would love to see a character in the game for, who would that be?
Any Hall of Fame woman.
Any Hall of Fame woman. Okay.
Luna,
Nice.
Miss Elizabeth, don't really care, but there's two. One's a unicorn and the other one's pretty much useful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So unless you waste your tons of resources to bring Wendy up, there's a 6-star legend woman in the tour that you can't beat unless you pretty much have Elizabeth or waste your resources on Wendy.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have Sherry, and I don't have Wendy at 6-star bronze, and I've thought
You
about
and me
it
both.
Yeah, I've thought about it many times. I just can't do it. So when you say Hall of Fame woman, you're not talking about the statues in the game. You're talking about any Legends
era woman. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Agreed. It was a nice ad to have Sherry come into the game, but yeah, like you said, I don't have her. She's super rare.
Yeah, I think they need to at this point add at least 2 a year to get it caught up in that category.
Yes, I agree. 2 a year, and one free, like one that's free, maybe on the level of what we've been getting with like your Hall of Fame Tori or your let me think, Shotzi,
Yeah, I mean,
or
even a B tier one free. I mean, it's still going to be doable on that tour at least.
Yeah, today's version of B tier versus Showboat Wendy.
Oh God.
Right. All right. Well, any parting words to sign off?
Nope. Peace out and keep grinding.
All right. Well, thanks for being on here too, live.
All right. Have a good day.
That was incredible. My favorite thing about this little show is that it gives a voice to more than just these two dudes with a microphone. That we also get to hear from faction members beyond our own faction. That we get to hear from faction leaders beyond our leaders, and we get to pick up on some of the public discourse happening around the game. And not only that, hear their tips and tricks, hear their thoughts and feelings, and all of the things that you just heard in that interview. If you are interested in doing a community spotlight with us, we're probably going to do a little bit of screening with you on some level.
We have to. Just be honest. We have to.
We'd love to hear from you on Discord. You can shoot us a message at Night of the Sun, KNIGHT of the SON, or at Rusty Graves on Discord. You can hit us up and we will try to line up some conversation with you. We have some more community spotlights coming up soon.
Yep, McDuck, Nate Dogg, a few others.
So McDuck, and here's a fun story. McDuck was one of the guys who, when I was literally ruffling feathers, right? He was the one that reached out on behalf of the feathers that I had ruffled and say, some of my faction mates are ticked at you, man. Like, and so we got to know each other.
You've earned some respect, actually, is what
we
it was.
became friends. I owned it. I did a public apology for that faction and for those guys. And we're excited to have him on soon. Yeah, still Bert and Ernie.
If you know, you know. Anyway.
Moving along, we're in a new segment of WWE TV. And this is where we talk about what's happening beyond the game that we play. If you're interested in finding something fun that involves the world of wrestling, you ought to check out on your app store WWE Champions mobile game and download it and give it a trial, because we have a lot of fun with that. Also, you'll see commercials on WWE TV from time to time about different games they offer. Lee and I both think
this is the best one.
This is the best wrestling game that you could play, and we're in on it. But more than that, we are fans of what's happening in the WWE universe. What's happening with even this new TV contract. Lee, tell us about this week, breaking news in the world of WWE television in January 2024. What's going to happen?
Oh, my goodness. Well, we're in January 2024, but Rusty, let me just ask you, have you ever seen...
Starting in January 2025, this will happen.
I know. Time doesn't make sense. You're okay.
I don't write the year on a check anymore like I used to, right? So I forget.
Oh my gosh, we're dating ourselves there. Anyway, Wow. So Rusty, have you ever heard of the phrase Netflix and chill? Did you know that that's dirty? I
Yes, I
didn't.
know what that
I
means.
didn't, and I
it
used it from
means
stage one
it means
time.
invite someone over, turn on a movie,
Whoa.
and then have
Whoa.
physical time and intimacy with that person.
Relations.
Yeah, or yeah, consensual relations. Yes. is what it means.
Did you know that I didn't know what that meant? And one time I was speaking from a stage and used that phrase and had somebody come up to me
I'd like
afterwards
to
and
invite
go,
you all over to Netflix and chill with me in
That's
one
not what I,
large
luckily.
group
Oh
setting.
my gosh, luckily. Oh, wow.
Everyone's invited
Wow.
to Netflix and chill with
Wow.
me.
Wow. I did not know what it meant, and I used it, which is speaking inadequate,
It's
poor
booty.
etiquette
It's the
101.
new. It's what the kids. It's the new language for booty call. Like in your day, that would have been called a booty call.
Wow. Yeah, well, I used it wrong. And then I had somebody come up after I got done speaking and go, you don't know what that means, do you? And I was like, well, yeah, it just means like we're going to watch Netflix and eat ice cream.
We're
They're
gonna hang
like,
out. We're just gonna
if
eat some
ice
snacks.
cream
We're gonna sit
were, and then
across from
they,
each other and watch a screen together,
exactly.
out
Yeah.
of arm's reach.
So earlier this week, one Mr. Charles Montgomery Punk posted a image, Netflix and Phil. Netflix and Phil, because his real name's Phil Brooks, right? So the real news is
Okay.
WWE has been in TV rights negotiation for an undetermined amount of time, but we've known about it for several months, right?
They've been shopping the
They've
product.
been
You could
shopping
say.
Raw.
Suiting,
Yeah, SmackDown is going to USA.
Courting suitors.
Correct. Yes. Good way to look at it, especially with the whole Netflix and chill. Anyway, yes.
Their quinceañera happened, and so now they are courting suitors.
Wow. We are off the rocker, Sean, here. Anyway, yeah, so they've been looking at they got not Netflix, they got SmackDown to go to USA, right? And that was big deal, big money, like insane money. Like these deals for television rights are worth more than what they bring in for WrestleMania and I think all of their other premium live events combined, right?
Right.
But the big question was Raw. CM Punk was the play. A lot of people, myself included, thought Warner Brothers Discovery was going to pick it up. It was going to go to Max. It was going to disrupt the other company, all this kind of stuff. But what actually happened is fundamentally culture changing, not just for wrestling, but for all streaming services. Like, it fundamentally can change the way streaming services work because they went to the biggest one. So they got a 10-year, $500 million a year deal. That's $5 billion of revenue. The first 5 years are guaranteed. Netflix can then renew it for up to another 5 years. So that means that deal is worth more than their Saudi deal, I believe, but it's certainly worth more than any WrestleMania, blah, blah, blah. And in the US, Peacock still owns the rights to their premium live events. However, outside of the US, all Raw, all SmackDown, all NXT will live on Netflix, plus the big four, what we used to call pay-per-views, WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, SummerSlam. Those are going to live on Netflix. At the end of Peacock's deal, no one knows for sure, but the thought is the entire WWE library will move to Netflix.
Could you imagine if they had their own streaming service? How cool that would be?
Wouldn't that be if it was like $9.99 a month and they hung a flag somewhere for that?
Instead of being on someone else's platform, how cool would it be if they had their own network, maybe even call it like the WWE network, right?
That would be insane.
All of your wrestling on one wrestling app, not have to worry about any of these subsidiaries. And
forget about Fight TV, forget about Peacock.
Life would be grand. If only.
It would be amazing.
So if I'm sure it'll never happen.
Yeah. If you were outside of the US, the WWE network will no longer exist. That's been the big thing, especially if you watch, for whatever reason, British YouTubers are the ones that do the best at reviewing wrestling, and we're not British. So that's what it is. But if you watch Wrestle Talk, What Culture, WrestleMania, any of these guys, right?
I really enjoy all those shows.
All of them? Yeah, me too.
I do. I love them all. Especially
I was
on YouTube.
actually,
I watch them
I
on
was
YouTube.
shocked that WrestleMania actually has the highest subscriber count out of those. I
Yeah.
thought for sure it would be What Culture. It's not.
I like Wrestle Talk on audio only. I listen to it in the car.
Oh, okay.
Good time.
Kind of like
Good
those of
time.
you who are listening to this in your car. Thank you. Thank you. Keep subscribing. Anyway, but if you're outside of the US, the WWE network is actually ceasing to exist now. It's going to all be on Netflix for you. So Netflix will become the exclusive home at some point worldwide, kind of like how Doctor Who just went to Disney Plus. This is one of those type of deals, right? Except for what it changes is that Netflix has never had a live TV, so to speak, aspect to it. They've done events. They've done that season of Black Mirror where there was the episode where it was like a choose your own adventure episode. They've got a gaming system kind of going. They've been trying things. This will be the first time that any live sport has been on a Netflix platform, right? So weekly TV is now their thing. You can't binge watch Raw. It doesn't, like, they haven't shot 100 more seasons. It happens every week. You can't binge watch the paper. You can watch old episodes once they go on there for sure. But this is going to change Netflix's model, and they far streaming service, which means wrestling, and in particular the WWE, is possibly going to have the biggest zeitgeist moment it has ever had. Forget Hulkamania, 40-year anniversary. Forget Stone Cold Steve Austin in the Attitude Era.
Back-to-back Royal Rumble winner.
Right, right. Hogan's going to win the Rumble, is that what you said?
No, Austin. Austin's back-to-back Royal Rumble winner.
Oh, yeah. He's the only 3-time. Hogan won twice in a row too. But so more people have access to this than ever before. I mean, now, obviously, if you look at the old days, like way back when, like Saturday night's main event, Hogan versus Andre,
that was good stuff,
is still the most watched wrestling event ever, because but that was back when there was 4 channels, right? It
was on local. Yeah, it was just
and
on
NBC hosted it.
Yep.
That's not happening again. But this is equivalent to that in terms of the cultural impact. Like, that helped launch Hulkamania to the masses. This puts WWE, like, imagine you go onto your Netflix and it's got this big banner like, hey, WrestleMania 40 or 41 in this case will be there.
Finish the story.
And you're like, I grew up watching wrestling. I wonder if it's any good anymore. And then you see what Triple H is bringing to the table, because it's legitimately amazing. And suddenly there are more wrestling fans since there's been in decades.
It's about to be cool to be a wrestling fan, friends.
Suddenly, head of the curve, because we're so far behind the curve, it looped around.
Suddenly we are the cool kids. Forget all those football watching, cool macho cheesehead beefaroni type guys.
Nacho suddenly, cheese?
I don't know. I just was talking about people that, oh, come over to our party. Oh, we're gonna watch the big game together.
Right.
Like, WrestleMania, sucker. That's what I'm all about.
WrestleMania.
Yeah. There's gonna be more Cody fans than ever.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that.
Well, it's a big deal. I mean, this is huge. And then The Rock joined the board of directors. That also happened.
You think he's going to know his role?
Wow. Or shut his mouth?
No, Whoops. He won't do that.
No, he won't. In fact, he's going to be louder now. Yeah. So as a part of him going to the board of directors, he now owns the character The Rock. He now owns the name The Rock.
Good for him.
Plus, he got a good bunch of money. But here's the thing. The Rock is already a Netflix darling. Like, if you've seen Red Notice or, other things that he's done on there, Red Notice comes to mind most immediately. Imagine in 2025 in January when Netflix starts having The Rock advertise for wrestling, which of course everybody knows The Rock used to be in wrestling, right? But there's a whole generation that know Dwayne Johnson as the guy from Jumanji, right? That's all they know him from.
From the
And now the guy from Jumanji is introducing them to WWE champion for 364 straight days, Cody Rhodes.
One of the best Rock movies you could ever watch that you probably have never watched was 2004's remake of a movie called Walking Tall.
Oh, that was a good one.
Deputized The Rock to clean up the town of its drug dealers and its unsavory characters and so forth.
Yeah.
Well, we will talk. No, Royal Rumble's this weekend. You sticking?
Royal Rumble's this weekend.
Just checking real quick.
Saturday.
Finish this episode. I've got my pick locked it in for Bayley to win the women's Royal Rumble, to go on to fractally explode Damage Control and to face EO in the championship match at WrestleMania. Do you have any stone cold locks?
Oh, I have a couple thoughts. Number one is, around the same time that this all broke, there was rumors of a certain New Japan wrestler that may be coming to WWE. I don't think he'll win, but if he did, oh my goodness, that would be a game changer instantly. The other thing that's been going around is this purported leak of the WrestleMania card having the main events, 3 of them, be Cody versus Punk for no title.
What?
Roman versus Rock for the title.
That makes sense.
And Gunther versus Seth for the consolation belt.
Oh,
what do you think?
Stupid. Seriously? Is that what you're hearing? Where are you?
That is what I'm hearing. This is all rumor and conjecture. I've also heard that Roman walked into the locker room and saw, or not Roman, sorry, The Rock walked into the locker room and saw Cody and looked at him and said, "You are gonna finish your story." But it was 10 minutes before he went out and cut that promo where he said, "Or should I sit at the head of the table?"
Yeah. So the conjecture is he was talking about being the head of the table and the board of this conglomeration, this media
TKO.
empire. Yeah, not fighting Roman, or maybe it's duplicitous, maybe it's a double entendre, maybe it means both, right? Rock Roman would be my first choice.
WrestleMania 41.
It would be my first choice of what I wanted to see in a main event at this WrestleMania. And it just is the story that is begging to be told. And it's got to be for tribal chief. I mean, the stakes have to be high, more than the belt.
Right.
More than the belt. There's been rumors that maybe Roman's going to take time off, going to go start a movie career. Like, I don't know how they resolve it, but like, I feel like the bloodline's just kind of run its course. And so Rock's going to, quote, finish the story, right, of that.
So then Cody doesn't get the belts.
I don't know, man. Like, why does he need it? Like, why does he need it now? Why does he need it now?
If he doesn't get the belt, I no longer care that he exists at this point.
Why does it have to be WrestleMania?
He needs to finish the story.
Why can't he do it at SummerSlam? Right? Why
You're
does
the
it have
Cody
to be,
guy. You're the
I know.
Cody guy here.
Why does it have to be this WrestleMania?
I
don't know. I don't know that makes sense as much as the number one story they've been telling for 3 years has been the bloodline.
See, this is not the dynamic I expected coming into this. I thought you were going to be the Cody advocate, and that, but the roles are changed. It's okay.
Cody. I am all for Cody. I don't know that Cody Roman 2 is the WrestleMania that the fans want and that delivers and that propels him to the meteoric rise that we want to see from him. I don't know.
Wow.
I think we're fatigued by Brock Roman 2, Brock Roman 3, Brock Roman 4. Like,
wow.
Tell a new story.
Hot takes.
Let Cody finish the story in a way that's truly sensational. And to make that happen, the guy has to get screwed over, a la Daniel Bryan or Stone Cold Steve Austin. He hasn't gotten screwed over. He got injured. Like, he hasn't experienced hard times yet. A pectoral injury. And so I really believe they are working on a story that's going to make him America's sweetheart, where everyone is rooting for him. They're going to make him the Rocky, the underdog. And when he lifts that title, when and if he lifts that title, it will be in such a dramatic fashion, more so than a rubber match from last year's WrestleMania.
Well, you heard it here. I don't know if it's first, but it's hottest right there. Not what I expected Rusty to say. Here's
And I'm
my
a
thought.
Cody guy. I like, so
You
that's like,
are.
this is coming
You're
from
the
a
Cody
Cody
guy.
mark. This is coming from a Cody mark. They can
You
tell a
had to
better
convince
story.
me to like Cody.
They can tell a better story than Cody Roman 2.
Really? Wow. I'm on the other side of that, actually. This is surprising to me, but I think Cody Roman 2 has to happen at WrestleMania, or someone like me who had to finally be convinced to like Cody Rhodes. I'm gonna see him as the BT. He is the Virgil to the $1 Million Man. He is the Jannetty to Shawn Michaels.
No way.
He will be the Tucker to Otis. That will be the highest he'll ever climb in my eyes if he doesn't finish the story at WrestleMania. So that's
a bad take. Boo. That's a bad take. Why do you want more of the same? And why do you think Cody's going to be the guy to end Roman's historic title? They're going to let Roman beat the Hogan streak. Roman's going to beat the Hogan streak. That's what's going to happen.
Hulkster.
That's what's going to happen.
Well, maybe. My take is,
and I don't want Cody to lay down to him a second time. So
you don't want it?
I don't want Cody to lay down to Roman a second time.
Oh, right.
No
well,
way.
Yeah, absolutely. If they do Roman Cody 2 and Roman wins again, that would equally, yeah.
They would have Priest somehow interrupt it. They would have a helicopter crash into the arena before they would do Cody lays down a second time. So
wow. Hot takes with Rusty today. Wow. I would say what I want to see is The Rock somehow get involved, but set up next year's WrestleMania with Roman.
It's going to be the ref, the special ref. We've seen that in the past.
Oh, I hope not. Maybe more like he comes out and he interferes. Like they're gonna repeat the spot from last year, and Solo's gonna spike him, and The Rock sneaks in and does the rock bottom or something. That's what I want to see.
That's begging to be told has the tribal elders all at ringside.
I think you do that.
And there has to be torches. There has to be, authentic garb. Like, it's got to feel Roman and Rock has got to feel like Black Panther when they're fighting for who the Black Panther is going to be. Okay. It's got to have that kind of feel where the whole village watches, winner take all, pride is on the line.
All right. I think that would be great next year. That's my
How old is The Rock though? 54? Like, we're not like, that's why I just think like it's got to be now while he has 2 working knees, and that's not guaranteed.
Yeah, well,
you don't want that Undertaker Triple H match from Crown Jewel. You don't want that.
Oof.
The
Roman Undertaker from WrestleMania.
Ever. Remember DX versus Brothers of Destruction from Jeddah?
Yeah.
It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, it was.
You don't want that. You don't want that. That Rock can't end Roman, and he can't get buried by Roman. It would be a disgrace.
Wow. This is not what I expected. I'll just say that.
Baby.
This is not what I expected. The only way that I can stay on the Cody Rhodes train is, did you see that promo with CM Punk?
Phenomenal.
When 10
CM out of 10.
Punk, 10. I'd give it an 11. I want to Dave Meltzer break the star rating, right? That was a 100 out of 10. When
he said, "I'm more of the American dream than you are." Right. And then he goes into that diatribe. And he's like, I'm more CM Punk than you are.
Oh my gosh. Good. See, that's Cody's first.
So good.
Well, I don't know. If CM Punk doesn't go against Seth in the in WrestleMania, I would be surprised. If he doesn't win the belt, I would be surprised.
Seth's not going to be at Mania. But get ready for that. Seth's not going to be there.
Oh, he said he was.
That knee injury is real. That knee injury.
Oh, it is real.
It's not a work. I think
he's crazy enough to work
going to defend that title at Mania. It will be vacated, and that there might be a King of the Ring between now and then, and that might be how Cody finishes the story, going through a gauntlet of the toughest of the tough right? And you see like these training montage videos of him punching a punching bag in the back. Like that could be epic.
Well,
Take
you know
us
what?
home, Lee.
I
We've
have
given people
never
enough to chew on for one
I have never
episode.
felt like you and I were farther apart. Usually we're pretty locked in with maybe a little variation on there. You and I, we're watching different Royal Rumbles and we're
Yeah.
watching different WrestleManias.
We should watch them
So
together.
now, oh, we should we'll watch along or something. Like if I can
Mm.
figure out how to get Streamlabs to sync so that
Get
your
our
voice and
Twitch.
mine match up,
Get our
that would
Twitch
be
on and have a watch party. That'd be
yeah.
fun.
Well, who knows? Who knows what the future holds?
Only the Lord.
If you are team Cody needs to win right now, otherwise I'm never going to believe in him again, put your thoughts in the comment section. If you are team The Rock and Roman needs to happen right now, put your thoughts in the comment section. We've created a divide between the two of us, and that means
we'll never be
you
friends
can choose sides.
until this is resolved.
You need to choose sides. That's what we're calling for. We are calling for Team Rusty or Team Lee. Who will win the Royal Rumble? Who will go on to WrestleMania? We'll be back to talk about that, but there's a Rumble in between. So enjoy the Royal Rumble this weekend. Check out WWE Champions on your favorite mobile platform. It is, in my honest, no doubt opinion, the best wrestling game ever. I've been working on a video with that title for like 2 years. I swear I'll get it out someday. But in the meantime, thanks for being a part of this community. We appreciate you. Bye.